it is definitely a cold December day here in North Carolina, and so we were moving all a little slower this morning. Definitely lingering around the fireplace while Daddy made a fire. Finally got some Bible study done, and now the girls are happily in their room playing. We went through, as we're in this process of getting rid of all of our stuff, I went through and let the girls keep 5 little toys and 5 stuffed animals in their basket. And so they picked out those, and I took everything else up and I bagged it up. Not that they have a ton, because we did this quite often where we go through their stuff, but we did scale it down to just 5 little toys and 5 little stuffed animals that they can play with. And so their room is super clean, super organized, which they always tend to feel better about when it's done. I notice when their room is getting messy, and even though they're not quite realizing it, but I can tell when their room is becoming overwhelming, they don't go and play in there quite as often. But then when I go in and we scale back their toys, separate everything nicely and neatly into they each have one basket, and I sweep and just kind of clean up in there, that they suddenly have this like intense drive to want to be playing in their bedroom. So you definitely can see the difference it makes when we scale back and clean up. So they have been in their room playing so sweetly all day so far. So I haven't even, their schoolwork is all separated and ready here on the table, but they are happily in their room playing, so I'm not even going to make a big deal about it. Today is Tuesday, so it is our writer's tea time. So our plan already is to take a couple hours in the afternoon, bake something yummy, make some tea, some hot cocoa, and sit down at the table and write. So I think we will just do kind of their writing lessons, their schoolwork during writer's tea time anyways, where they copyright a song and work in their Good and the Beautiful lessons. So and Virginia does a reading lesson out of Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons. So we'll just do that this afternoon when we sit down with our baked yummy good of some sort. I really don't know what we're going to bake today. I should probably figure that out. So we'll do that. Travis has gotten his schoolwork done. He is doing his computer portion of stuff, and yeah, I'm hoping to maybe get some cleaning and some work done that I need to work on as far as going through the house and separating. Our living room is still quite a mess. I think it looks like a mess, but in my mind, I do have some like method to the madness going on as far as separating. Travis is laughing at me.
It's so true.
But I do have a method to my madness. I have gotten things separated by family member, things that I know already we don't need to keep and do need to get rid of. I'm just trying to go through and make sure that I am keeping bare necessity items. So I'm working that part out, so that way I can put away just the things that we are going to keep. You know, a very minimalist wardrobe, and the things that we need to use day in and day out, and get rid of everything else. I have a lot of stuff that will be getting sold and donated and just moving on to serving someone who could truly need it, instead of staying here with us. So I'm hoping today I can get to actually work on that, because we have been so busy with school and activities that we're just doing together that I really have not gotten to work on that very much. I also really need to get to the computer and get some computer work done, but I've just been very much, husband and I have been just very hands-on in this time right now, so it makes it hard to go and tuck away and pour hours and hours of computer work in. So we'll get there. So baby's napping, Travis is happily doing his school, girls are off playing. I'm going to try to get a little bit of work done, maybe make some lunch here in a little bit, and then we will bake something and get our writer's tea time. So that's, I think, on our docket for the day. Okay, so I guess it is worth mentioning, this is our second year not doing Christmas at all. I've shared a million different things about about that. So if you're interested, I will link them down below and you can go listen and read. There's an article in the magazine. There's a podcast where we've talked about it, videos where we talked about it back around like Hanukkah time earlier this month. So if you're interested in that part of it, or are wondering why we're just sharing our normal daily homeschool videos, that is why. We stopped celebrating Christmas because we can't find Jesus in it. So we're not going to spend time on things where we can't find that. So I wanted to share, though, the reality of what that looks like when you stop doing that. We are very open and transparent with our children. So we definitely, please get out of the pantry. No. We definitely explain, sorry, would you please? We definitely explain to them why we believe and make decisions based off of, the information that we learn, explain to them why we do these things, discuss it with them. It's funny because there have been times where Lily specifically has been like, but Christmas is so fun. I said, you're right, Christmas is so fun. I mean, the pretty lights, and who doesn't love being showered in presents, and, all of these fun, cozy, festive things that we make such a big fuss over. Of course, those are totally fun. But are we really glorifying God in these different things? And again, my point isn't to go into why we do this, because you can go and listen to where we've talked about that a million different times. But we have shared and talked with them, about this, and they will see things sometimes where they're like, oh man, that looks fun. I go, you're right, it does look fun. But then they also will see things where they're like, that's not what you should be doing, so they're seeing and learning and discerning things on their own, which is what I want them to do. I don't want them to just, follow blindly into what mom and dad have said or have done. I want them to understand and learn and take it to the Holy Spirit that is dwelling within them, and to learn and follow their convictions and things and make their decisions based off of that. So that's what we want our children to do. Another point to it that is something that my husband has always been, he just for the life of him cannot understand Mother's Day, Father's Day, things like that, because it isn't just that one day that everything, is special and nice. You should love and cherish one another every single day, not just on the special day. So I think even for fellow Christians that make Christmas all about, family and being together and, thinking of Christ and all this other stuff, which is all good and great. Of course, we that was us too. But, stopping and thinking about that, why don't we do that every day? Why don't we make an effort to get together as a family as often as possible, not just on this one day, where everybody feels nostalgic or whatever, and we'll make the time to get together. And so I think, what is the matter with you? You're tired, that's what you want, Mama? Hi, Bunny's here. Bunny's here. But I think the reality of that, I find myself in different times where it makes me kind of sad. It makes me sad that, we really have loved learning. You want back down? One of these days I'll get through a video without stopping a million times. Maybe. Probably not. Now you're crawling backwards. You're tired and just throwing a fit, aren't you? Okay. Maybe. It does make me a little sad sometimes, considering the more that we are in Scripture and trying to be set apart from this world and closer to God and focusing, literally stopping in everything that we do and going, how am I glorifying God by this? Which again, we're not perfect by any sense of the word, but just trying to keep that consciously, on the forefront of our minds. I'm tired. The more we do that, the more our family has enjoyed things like taking time to celebrate the 7 ordained, let's drink the sparkling water, now it made me a little, yes, I know, I had to pat my own chest. But celebrating, God's holy feasts, His set apart days, Passover, Feast of Trumpets, all of those things, is so fun. We did Hanukkah this year, and it does make me kind of sad that we feel so passionate about living a life, that's set apart and different and doing these things, and we would love so much to get friends and family involved. Come over, let's enjoy Passover together, let's celebrate Hanukkah, just to do these different fun things with our family and friends. Okay, sorry, I was trying to get through this. It does make me sad sometimes that we just can't seem to get anybody on board. Some friends, have been, we've had a great time and gotten together, little things here and there, to some small degree, but it does stink to live in the reality that our society puts far more weight on something like Christmas than we would, getting together for Passover to celebrate the death and the burial, the resurrection, everything of Christ. It stinks when what you feel strongly about isn't what you grew up in, so therefore the majority of your friends and family don't also feel as strongly about that as you do. We're basically the odd man out, which at the end of the day, I feel a conviction about this. So obviously to pull back and be set apart from everyone else to do what I feel is right for my walk is important, and that's what has to be done. But it's kind of a bummer when nobody else really cares and wants to join in with you. Like our family, we had a blast at Hanukkah. I really wanted to have everybody come over and have a big dinner and a great time of fellowship together as a family and all of that, and just nobody was really interested. That stinks. So then seeing that, families ended up getting together and all for Christmas, nobody even talked to us about it. I guess just assuming that we don't do Christmas, so we wouldn't, have anything to do with it, which is fine. It just kind of is like, oh, I was trying to get everybody together and nobody was interested, and everybody kind of got together and we're just kind of left over here. Okay. It's fine, and I get it, and it makes sense. It's not that I'm upset at anyone or anything like that, but it's just that point when you come and you realize that the more that you try to disassociate from the ways of this world in your walk to grow closer and closer with the ways of Christ, that leaves you sometimes kind of odd man out, and that part of it stinks. I feel like the things that everybody loves about Christmas, the coziness, the foods, the fun, the games, the stuff like that, is something that our family tries to implement. Bless you. Bless you. I feel like that's something our family tries to implement all the time. Especially the winter season is very much a season of just drawing into the home, having a fire going, cozy lights, candlelight, baking yummy stuff, kind of those things that are very much like Christmassy things. As far as, doing that, I feel like we try to do that kind of all winter long. So it's not that I feel like I'm missing any of those things, because I feel like, if anything, I'm enjoying them more. Because for us, it's not just one day or 1 week. It's something that we are doing throughout the entire winter months, and we're not stressed out about it because we're just casually enjoying, this hygge feeling, where it's coziness and lights and fuzzy blankets and yummy foods and baking yummy treats and drinking hot cocoa and doing special crafts and activities and fun things in the home. I feel like we do that, more often, so I definitely don't miss anything in that sense of it. It makes it very easy that our kids don't have much outside influence, so they're not having to deal with these feelings of being pulled out and, you know, kind of weirdos over here that, you know, we're not doing what everybody else is doing. So that part definitely makes it easy. We also don't have cable TV and stuff like that. So things that maybe they would be like marketed with through cable TV, I don't have to worry about them having those influences. So those all kind of make it helpful as far as, you know, the reality of not celebrating Christmas. But I think that's an important thing that we've made sure to explain to them is in this world, Satan will make many things seem very desirable. It's not that these things individually are sinful per se, but it doesn't also mean that they're good for you. So certain foods, right? Totally processed, not God-made foods, but man-made foods, look delicious. They look awesome, and everything in this world tells you, come on, eat some of that. But we know that that's not healthy for you. We know that we have many, many diseases and issues happening today, many health problems, especially in our country. They're because of the fact that we don't eat these pure foods that God created, but all of these processed foods that man has created. Right? Satan will tell you that, you know, many things. It's not hard. We all know. There's many things that this world shows you. Oh, come on. Be focused on your career, be focused on making money, be focused on getting the car and having a nice house and doing all of these things. It's not that those things are necessarily sinful, because they're not. But wanting to just have all these things and do all these things because the world is showing you how bright and shiny and awesome they are, kind of a problem, right? If the love of the world is in you, then the love of the Father is not. I mean, we have to really watch these things and discern these various things. So I think Christmas is a kind of a neat example to show to the kids. Yes, there is a lot of really cool Christmas stuff that seems really super fun and awesome, and everything has cool lights on it and is super cozy and fun. I get that. But does that mean that we needed to continue in and doing these things? In doing these things, are we truly glorifying God and bringing others to the love of Christ? Well, probably not, you know, in various different ways. I'm not saying that everything's completely wrong and you can't. That's not my point. But for us just stopping and looking at these things, hey, continuing to do all these things, how are we doing that by this? If we don't have a very clear answer that yes, that is glorifying to God, and yes, that is leading others to the saving knowledge of Christ, then why are we having anything to do with it? Just because it looks cool and it looks fun and it looks, you know, super awesome isn't a reason to go ahead and do that. So today we're having a normal day, doing normal things. I think everybody's having a great day. We're getting ready to bake cookies. We're getting ready to sit down and do a writing activity together. The kids have been watching their Brave Wilderness show that they love. They've been running and playing and laughing and having a great time today. We've had a beautiful day together as a family. Yeah, it's a bummer that extended family and friends and stuff are out, you know, kind of doing other things, and we've kind of just been excluded from that. That part stinks. I understand why it happens, but it's kind of a bummer. Do I wish that during the spring and fall feasts and even Hanukkah, extended family and friends were super excited to come and get together and celebrate and joy and rejoice in Christ and all of that stuff with us? Yeah, it's a bummer. It stinks. If I'm being honest, it does. But I understand that it's different and not everybody gets it. And that's okay, because there wasn't that long ago when we didn't get it either. So that's fine. But the reality of today, to be honest, for the most part, I kind of forgot about it. I didn't think about it because we were focused on other things that we're doing. But then when you do realize what it is, and you call to talk to someone real quick, and it's like, oh, sorry, you guys all have this thing going that, like, we weren't invited to, so we'll just talk to you later, I guess. You know, that kind of makes you like, oh, well, that's the stinky side of it. But who knows? Who knows what's to come? I hope this came across correctly and not in any way being like, look at us not celebrating Christmas and all of you celebrating Christmas. You're whatever, because that's not at all what I mean. But I wanted to make sure that we are being transparent here and sharing. It's one thing to say, hey, we're not doing this, and for everything to be super fun over Hanukkah with all the stuff we're doing, and then come Christmas time not to share the other side of that, I guess was my point. Hopefully that came across. Anyways, I'll stop blabbering about this and go bake some cookies.
We were
Careful, don't bump that.
here, but now we are here. And we are right here.
Okay. Well, hold on. No, that's 7. Where I had it marked. We're in lesson 6. You can write your story for just a few minutes more, and then we'll do yours. Okay. All right. So, do you remember what letter this is? What is it? E. Remember? And it says, look, it says E. All right, Lillaby.
What?
You work on your story? Ready to do some lesson?
Yes.
Let's see, what am I?
Wait, I thought I was ready.
Good job. That's an awesome A, Pickle. Good job.
You don't need to teach me how to do this. I already know how to do
Awesome.
this.
Trevor, you let Lulu out?
Mom, you know I know how to do it.
You're doing fantastic.
And I know how to make the teeth.
Good job. That's an awesome tea. Well, it has been a successful day. We have gotten our schoolwork done. We're finishing up our writer's tea time. I am making origami sailboats. We're finishing up. I am trying to remain calm as these kids are going nuts. We've ate plenty of shortbread cookies. If ever you need to bake something with the kids or your kids would have fun baking something, the easiest thing on earth to make are shortbread cookies. Seriously. 2 sticks of butter, half a cup of sugar, be it regular granulated sugar, brown sugar, powdered sugar, doesn't matter, and 2 cups of flour. You just mix the butter and the sugar until it's completely mixed and fluffy, and then you add in the flour, roll them into balls. If your butter is cool enough, you don't need to refrigerate it. If you warmed up your butter to melt it, you might want to refrigerate the dough until it gets firm enough to roll up. Roll them up into balls, put them on parchment paper on a cookie sheet.
The sprinkles.
I'm getting to that. I take a fork and just kind of press them down a little bit so that they're flatter and not complete balls. And then you can take and add some sugar cinnamon to the top, kind of like a snickerdoodle. You can add some powdered sugar to the top. You can add absolutely nothing to the top. You can add some sprinkles to the top. Put them in the oven. Usually I bake them at like 300, 320 for about 10 minutes until you see them just slightly starting to get brown on the bottom edges, and let them cool off for a couple seconds because they are very delicate to handle when you first take them out. And boom bam, shortbread cookies.
Yeah, mine cracked up.
Super easy, super quick, and they're delicious. So that has been our writer's tea time snack the past couple times. You can also add, just keep doing these ones, so write the word and then add a D to the end. Super easy to make. You can get fancy with it and add some lemon to them to make little lemon cookies, an orange zest. I mean, you can change it a million different ways, or just make some dough and add different things to it to try different flavors and stuff out. So that's a fun, easy one that the kids can jump on in and make super easy. So we've done all of that. we are going to finish up, maybe get these kids outside to play a little bit because they are pretty hyper this afternoon, I think. You guys need to go run and play or something. Huh. So we're going to let them finish up. We have the last couple activities here. Lily and I are going to do our last little part of her lesson. And then you just need to do some math practice still, right? Yep. So we'll do a little bit of math and then probably let you guys go play. And I really need to try to get some cleaning done. So I think if we get this finished up, I can go and tackle the mess that's all hiding in here. And maybe eventually we'll get through everything in our house. Not too bad. Good Tuesday, huh? Mm-hmm. Yep.
Today's Tuesday.
I think today's Tuesday. Yeah. Do you have a good school day?
I love writing.
You have a huge wad of gum in your mouth.
I know.
It's really gross. So would you say nature walk and writer's tea time are your favorite weekly activities? Mm-hmm. Lily really enjoys writer's tea time, and I do too. Kind of nice.
I like making books.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I like drinking
she's been writing. You like drinking cookies?
No! Eating cookies.
Eating cookies.
I mean, you could try to swallow it before you chew it. You could try to drink cookies.
So anyways, I hope you guys are having an awesome day, an awesome week. I'm sure probably most of the world is taking a break from homeschool this week, but we're not. I think we're kind of enjoying getting stuff done. Yeah. Usually North Carolina, it always seems like it gets like, you're chewing gum in my ear. You're going to have to go somewhere else with that. You're going to drive me crazy. I feel like North Carolina, we usually don't get, minus our super huge snow we had the other day, usually like wintry weather shows up for us like later into winter. And at that point, when it is really cold and really nasty out, we are completely unproductive. So I think early in this time, before it gets like super cold and wintry out, we're good at staying on track and getting stuff done.
A lot. You know, we get our
No, I'm saying getting a bunch of school done. We don't get as much school done when it's really nasty out. We do a lot more of like watching movies and stuff.
and playing video games. It's usually like,
Ew, that's a leech.
I know it's gross. Oh, that's not a leech.
Every day has kind of become Nature in Action Day because they started watching Brave Wilderness with Coyote Peterson on YouTube, and now our whole family is like obsessed with watching Nathaniel. We have become obsessed with watching the show. So even my husband and I are constantly walking in and we're like, wait, I haven't seen this one. What is he out there? So that's kind of a fun show if you want something to watch where at least like you're learning something so you're not completely just
do a ton of stuff.
doing nothing with your life. Okay, so we are going to go finish school. We're going to go get this stuff done. And I think we've had a good productive day. Yeah, not too bad. Hope you guys are having an awesome day. We're glad you came and hung out with us today. Hopefully what I said earlier made sense. It was not in any way upsetting or mean or something. I hope what I feel actually came out in being good. Also today, there will be a podcast that has been released. Parenting your children like your Father in heaven parents you. Something that's been weighing on my husband's heart quite a bit lately. And as we were talking about it, it was just very much just, yes, why don't we think of this? So I'm really excited to share that with you guys. There's a slug with purple slime. She's very excited. Anyways, it was a really great conversation him and I had for that podcast episode. Quiet, please, your sister's asleep. It is inking out purple slime. That's disgusting. It was a really great conversation my husband and I had. He's actually working on a ton more with this topic, so if you'll keep him in prayer, that would be awesome. But I would love for you guys to check that out. So I will make sure to link that at the end of this video so that way you guys can listen to that and let us know what you think. But otherwise, we will see you guys tomorrow. And make sure to subscribe, tap the bell, do that cool stuff. If there is something that we can lift up in prayer, please reach out and let us know. But either way, we're really glad you guys were here hanging out with us, and we'll see you guys later.